Ivan Poschi,
Fernando,
good to be here with you today.
yes, good morning. Thank
Sitting
you for
here.
forcing me to get out early.
It's 11 a.m. I'm sitting here with Ivan Poschi, owner of the Extremos Dance School in Amsterdam
Yes,
and the organizer of the Amsterdam International Salsa Festival. Thank you
indeed.
for being here on this episode of Behind the Shines.
Thank
You're the
you.
first organizer I'm talking
Thank you
to.
for inviting me.
Of course. From my hometown, I'm from Amsterdam. I
Mhm.
also was a teacher at Extremos. It's great to also have you here as a guest on my show today. You have been in the scene for a long time.
Yes, that's what people say.
How long exactly?
Let me see. I've been dancing salsa since '97. That's 28 years. I started with Cacho Santos. Unfortunately, they're no longer alive, but a lot of Dutch, let's say, celebrities, like salsa celebrities, like DJ Willie, started dancing with him as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And did it look different from what it looks like today?
It looks completely different. In those times, people in the Netherlands were still dancing mostly either Cuban or they were dancing right foot forward, which is a typical style that people did in the Netherlands, in Suriname, and in the Dutch Antilles,
Really?
Curacao and Aruba. People would dance right foot forward, not left foot forward.
Where did that come from?
What I understood is it has to do with the local dance, folkloric dance of Curacao, where they dance with the right foot forward. They translated this to salsa.
And how big was the scene in the Netherlands?
It was very small. It was very small, and it was generally a lot older. When I started, I was 25, and I was really the youngest person in the room.
Wow.
Any party I would go, I was the youngest person.
What kept you there?
I really liked it. I really loved the dance. Yes. I would dance all night long, and then the next day there were also not that many events, so you couldn't be too picky. You would see like, oh, tonight there's a party in The Hague. I can take a train. I'll be there at 8. I can dance till 12, and then I go home.
And you always see the same people?
You always, yes, mostly yes.
Do you remember your first Congress?
My first Congress was actually the first Haarlem Salsa Festival by Annetje and Marlon Castillo. It was in, I believe, 1999.
Wow.
It was the first European Congress.
The first in all of Europe?
Yes.
In Haarlem, here in the Netherlands?
Yes. You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, it was the first Congress, yes.
Wow.
I remember they brought in Luis Vasquez. It was the first time I saw Luis Vasquez, and I was like, because people would go out in the Netherlands with a t-shirt, old jeans, and people didn't really dress up at all. And then I saw Luis Vasquez, and he was wearing a suit, a hat, and he was doing like all cool moves. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, oh my God, that's.
So you still work with him to this day?
Yes, yes. And then the second international event, I went to Berlin Salsa Congress, to the first edition organized by Franco. And I'm always late. The first time I went to Berlin, I didn't book tickets, nothing. I said, oh, it's gonna be all right. Then I arrived in Berlin, and again, I didn't have ticket, and it was sold out. At some point, I told Franco, hey, excuse me, I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And I told him, so I'm from Amsterdam. I don't have tickets. Sorry. Can I buy the door? And he said, no. And then later, Anish and Marlon came by. When they walked by, I said, hey guys, I would like to. Through them, I got in. But so my first international congress, I almost didn't get in.
With Franco, did you ever repair the relationship?
No, I'm good with Franco.
Amazing.
He doesn't remember this.
He doesn't remember the story.
For him, I was just a guy. I was just one guy that didn't have a ticket to this event.
Yes. Oh, and then how much after that did you organize your first event?
I did a lot of parties in Amsterdam, not big parties. And then in 2007, I did an event, and I said, you know what, let's go bigger. I said to the international weekend, I brought in Adriana Anita, whom else? Fadi Fusion.
Oh, yeah.
This in 2007. And then in 2008, I started the Amsterdam Salsa Festival, and I did this together with a partner. That didn't go well, so did it 3 years together, and then we went our separate ways. And he did the Amsterdam Salsa Festival, and I continued with the Amsterdam International Salsa Congress. And his event lasted 3 more years, and then he stopped. And then I just changed the name from Congress to Festival.
Well, you merged it together again, sort of.
Because calling that event the festival was I prefer the name festival rather than Congress. For a Congress, festival sounds more like a party. A Congress is more like, okay, you have a bunch of doctors together.
I always wondered what the difference was.
There's no difference.
And if I tell people outside of the dance scene that I go to a salsa congress, they imagine lectures.
Yes, exactly.
And doctors.
This is why when you say festival, they think of it's a party. That's for people. So if we look inside the scene, then people know what a congress is. But for people that are new to the scene and you say you're going to a congress, it's a little bit confusing.
Exactly. When you started organizing your first events, do you remember like some of the other big events being an inspiration or an example you wanted to follow?
Well, of course, you look at other events and you think, wow, I wonder if we can do this in Amsterdam. Definitely. And I also, now I still go to lots of events and I check what do I like? What do I really like about this event? Or what can we improve on? And it can be very small, silly things that I think, wow, these people can be the printing, how they do it, anything but I was definitely inspired by other events. I'm talking about the Zurich Salsa Festival. Unfortunately, that has been discontinued. Berlin was always one of my favorites. Before, back in the days, you had the UK Salsa Congress. It's long before your time. Definitely. I can't say any specifics, just you bring in a bunch of artists and you have 3 days of party. That's the basics.
It's always a bit like that.
Yes.
The basics, they stay the same. But aside from the basics, has there anything changed over the last 20 years?
Well, it has all become more professional. I think in all aspects, or the local parties, the festivals, you see different faces. Like you have a hardcore scene that I've been seeing at festivals for the last 20 years, but it's mostly new faces. And then there are faces that you will see for 3-4 years in a row and then they disappear again.
Do you see any difference in the dynamics between, I don't know, the organizers, artists, visitors?
Well, I see mostly the difference dynamics between the artists and the visitors. Back in the days, the artists were really on the pedestal, and now the artists are generally much more open to the crowd. You can dance with them, and before it was a little bit more. There was more a distance between the artists and the public. But I have to say, there were less artists than there are now. Now, back in the days, you would go to all the festivals and they were the same artists.
Yes. It was a bit more rare, maybe.
Yes. There were not that many festivals, too.
And a lot of the names that were going to festivals, everything you mentioned, Adrian Anita, Fadi Fusion, Adolfo, they're still around.
They're still around.
The Vasquez brothers. And a lot of them also come to your festival.
Yes.
Who's the artist you've worked with the longest?
I think at the moment, Fadi and Adrian Anita.
Do you see yourself generally when you start working with somebody, you work with them for a long time?
Well, usually every time I work with a new artist, I don't plan to work with them once. I choose artists for the quality. I really want to see if I look at Instagram and say, wow, these guys are amazing, I bring them. But for me, also very important is if they're nice.
Nice people.
Yes, if they're nice people, if they are a good match with our crowd and the other artists.
Do you take feedback also from visitors? Is it more your own perspective?
I do take feedback. Absolutely, we take feedback. But you get feedback from about everything. For example, last year we did with the tokens. We did digital tokens to buy drinks, and some people hated it, some people loved it. What's next? For us, it was very easy. It's not that we didn't make more money with it. It was just easier. And the lines at the bar were much smaller. But again, some people hated it. Some people loved it. Some people like, wow, what an amazing concept. But I got also 2 or 3 emails from people that said they wouldn't come back just because of the token. That's very hard.
It's harsh, yes. I guess you experience that as an organizer. Sometimes you get harsh feedback
But honestly, I've been doing this for so long. Perfection, you strive to get everything as good as possible. But of course, every year there are some things that, again, we are not a professional event company. This is a hobby that got a little bit out of hand.
All the salsa dancing or just the events?
Sorry?
The whole salsa thing.
Well, first of all, the whole salsa thing, yes, but mostly the festival. It was never intended was never my idea it would be this big, or it just kept growing.
Oh, that's great. That's how good
Mm.
things come about. Is there one thing that frustrates you about visitors or their attitudes?
I'll tell you some other day. We really try to make an event as good as I mentioned. All organizers try to put out the best events they can. We cannot compete with an event like Dance Valley or like where people go and they pay a lot more for the tickets. They spend a lot of money at the bar. It's incredible how much money goes in one of those events.
Mhm.
With us, we're happy if people spend €5 each on a night on drinks. For this, we have to bring in all the equipment. We have to buy in all the drinks. We have to hire externals for to run the bar, to run the bar, and people don't really consume a lot. That's we don't really make a lot of money in the bar.
Yeah.
But then people complain about the bar prices. Now, we can't really make it any cheaper. It's for Amsterdam standards. It's already very affordable.
I hear more often organizers talk about how it's weird that a lot of dancers, they feel comfortable paying high prices for maybe going out clubbing or spending drinks in other
That's
events. They pay a lot of money for shots, for
oh,
cocktails.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You go to Dance Valley, they spend €100 on a ticket for one day. Then they spend another €100 on drinks and
Yeah.
cocktails.
Then often you see that when you organize a social and it's €15, then people find it expensive.
Oh yes.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I don't know. It's I have no idea. Yeah.
And we like to bring our own bottles of water too.
Oh yes. So we have the Kroon. It's amazing location in the center of Amsterdam. It's free entrance. It's we have DJs playing. It has a good wooden floor, and again, it's free entrance. People don't have to spend a dime. You're not obliged to go get a drink, but please don't come and bring your own drinks. Don't open a bottle and start drinking your own lemonade.
They take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
free, the
Yes.
concept of free very literally.
Yes, come on. Have a little bit of respect for the venue, for the organization. Just buy at least one drink at the bar.
And also, people love to dance. Why not invest a little bit in the scene? Because you
Yes.
help, of course, the scene as well to grow further. One thing more about your experience in the salsa scene, because you've been organizing salsa events now for a while, but in the last years, also your bachata events have been growing.
Yes.
And also at your school, it used to be Extremo Salsa.
Yes.
Now it is Extremo Salsa and Bachata.
It's Extremos dance, actually.
Extremos Dance.
And
I am curious from you as an experienced organizer, how you've witnessed the rise of the bachata scene.
it actually happened quite fast. Before Corona, there was the bachata level in Netherlands was, I think, quite low. I remember I went during the lockdowns. I went to Ukraine, and I thought that the bachata level in Ukraine was much higher than in the Netherlands. Then after Corona, it changed. After Corona, suddenly people started traveling more. The Dutch people started traveling a lot. People from abroad came to Amsterdam. And in very short time, the bachata level in the Netherlands went up a lot. And the parties before there were two festivals, bachata festivals. I think now there are at least 10 festivals a year in Amsterdam.
How was your experience working with bachata artists?
Actually, when I first started working with bachata artists, it was very nice. Bachata wasn't that big yet, and well, they always asked a reasonable price. Nowadays, if you book a bachata artist, they ask like twice as much as a salsa artist. It's like it went through the roof. And they also put some conditions that I really find hard to deal with. If you want to, we don't do social dancing. If you want to do the party, there's some special conditions that I've never seen in salsa.
Interesting.
In salsa dancers demands. I'm not saying that all bachata dancers do this, but a lot of bachata dancers do it.
Is this just supply and demand that causes?
Absolutely,
or
everything.
is the scene, is it a different scene or dance?
I think a little bit of both. It's definitely a different scene. I think the bachata scene is a bit younger than the salsa scene, but definitely supply and demand.
If we compare the relative growth of salsa and bachata, it does seem like bachata, of course, has gained a lot on salsa and popularity. Do you see any challenges for the salsa scene to continue growing and evolving over the next?
It will always keep growing and evolving. Maybe it will slow down a little bit, but my opinion, salsa is forever. And bachata, again, I like it. It's super popular now, but I don't think it will have this traction constantly. I think at some point it will slow down a bit too. My thoughts. I'm not sure if that's a fact, but I definitely think that salsa is here to stay.
Yes, it's a more mature scene.
Yes. One of the things that, in my opinion, bachata is much more popular at this moment. Not much more, but has gained so much traction. Is simply because, first of all, but the modern bachata is more like Latin pop. So it's very catchy. It's easy on the ears for people. If you have never danced Latin music and you hear salsa, you hear a regular salsa song, or one of those that they play at the social, let's say Richie Rai and Bobby Cruz. It's very hard to.
There's a lot going on.
Yes, but if you listen to bachata and it sounds very catchy and it's nice because you hear Romeo Santos or you hear a remix from a song that you already like. Of course, that's going to make it much more easy to get into.
How do you see your own role in this ecosystem? You're an organizer now of a big event, also run a dance school.
Well, I think it's undeniable that my school and we have a big part of the history of salsa in Amsterdam. Not the only one. There are some other people that have a big part, that play a big part too. But sure, when I go to a social, I see half the people that at some point started with me, let's say, took the first dance classes. Definitely, I think it's undeniable that, and also, of course, festival, we bring in a lot of artists from all over the world.
When you think about the artists that you invite to your events, what do you consider? What's important?
As I already mentioned before, for me, it's important, of course, that they're good dancers, good quality. By the way, I look different at artists that are good social dancers and artists that are great performers or instructors. But preferably, I would have an artist that has all three.
All three, yes.
That are good performers, that they are good social dancers, they dance with everybody, and likability, that they are. That I don't like artists that will disappear to the hotel room and then you don't see them. But of course, what else do I?
You said one thing that in the bachata scene, one of the attributes that makes it also popular at the moment is that it's a young scene.
Yes.
A lot of young artists. And in the salsa scene, of course, we see a lot of artists, amazing artists that have been around for a long time, that have made a big mark on the scene. And how do you think about looking for the new generation or younger dancers for your events?
Honestly, I go to other festivals and I look at the shows, I look at the social dancing, and nowadays social media. I check social media and I like this artist, then I try to look up some information about them, and then I invite them. We work with a certain amount of our regulars, but every year we also bring in a lot of new people, and then to see how it works. And some people that they start as the new people and they are still coming every year.
It's good to hear. It's interesting that you say you also look at social media nowadays for an artist. Maybe your Instagram page is a little bit like your CV for other jobs.
Absolutely.
You really maybe discover people also on social media, and that will raise your interest.
Your first interview with Maria Malacu, I discovered Maria Malacu through social media. Yes. And then I sent her a message, hey, would you like to come to Amsterdam?
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yes. And then she found Vincenzo.
Another new generation dancer. Yes. And that's great. And now they're both coming to your next event. You look at social media to discover new dancers. Social media has, of course, also been used recently for people to share more than just their art, but also to create discussions or raise awareness about issues in the scene. As we're developing as a scene, we are also shifting our attention to how do we make it better. And there has been controversy also online with people speaking up about inappropriate behavior, different kinds of stories. How do you look at this as an organizer?
Of course, we do mind what I do see all these controversies, and well, usually, definitely, if I think it's a very serious thing, I will not work with the artist. Absolutely. There's honestly not much to say. I take it serious. Actually, the whole team from the school and from the festival, it's all ladies. They would be very angry with me if I wouldn't pay attention to this.
Do,
And they also have a strong say in which artist we we invite.
oh, they have a strong say.
Oh yeah.
Do you have clear, like, where you would draw the line? Because often things are not as clear cut. It's not often that
Yeah.
somebody, like, people come out with accusations, say this person behaved inappropriately, but that can be many things. It can be,
Yes.
oh, they are super arrogant, or they don't want to dance with people in the social, or when they dance with people in the social, they are rough with them. But it can also be very serious allegations, like they have assaulted somebody or crossed somebody's boundaries. Do you have a line?
Yes, absolutely. There's a line. If I would read of an artist that I didn't or worked with him once and I hear some, then I wouldn't book this artist. Definitely. If it's an artist I already work with, well, it didn't really happen so far. There's one artist that I did see some negativity, but it wasn't that bad for me that I would think I'm not going to book this artist anymore.
Is there a certain type of behavior where if somebody would call it out, you would say, no, it's...
If it would get really bad, then yes, then I would probably just cancel it.
Do you feel like the values that we have as a scene have changed over the last 25 years?
I think now there's more control. I think back in the days it was worse, honestly.
In what kind of way?
In what kind of way? Well, everything you hear happening now already happens many times, unfortunately. But now there is more people are speaking up about it. Control maybe is not the correct word. I would say there is more a magnifying glass on it. Yes, but I think that now there's more. People are really speaking out more.
Do you think there will be more change now?
There has to be.
If you think about how values change, let's also, for example, take the role of leaders and followers. If you go back 20 years, I think it was much less common for men to dance a follow role or women to dance in a leading role.
It was less common, but it did happen. It's
always
not like
happened.
it wasn't unheard of. Back in the days, you had this guy, Sion Bristol, amazing dancer, a fantastic dancer, and he was the amazing both as a leader and as a follower.
And do you feel like, because you run a school here and you get a lot of new people coming into the school, people that don't know the whole international salsa scene and how things go. Do you feel like they also have different perspectives of leading following roles, or do you feel like people coming new into a school, they are still very traditional in the way that I'm going to go into a school, men are supposed to lead, women are supposed to follow?
Well, lots of men have no idea what it means to lead and follow. For example, we get a lot of gents that sign up as a follower for beginner classes because they say, "Oh, I don't know how to lead, I don't know how to dance, so I'll just sign up as a follower." They have no idea what.
And then they actually go and follow?
No, then they realize most guys still want to lead. Once they understand, they want to lead, and most ladies want to follow. But of course, there are exceptions. There are ladies that come and they want to lead. There are ladies that come and they start with, I want to follow, and then after a couple of classes, they want to switch to leading.
Right. Have you had cases where somebody wants to take another role than what is standard, and that other students complain or are not comfortable with it?
That's an issue. Let's say a gentleman wants to be a follower. Not all other guys feel comfortable with this because we live in the Netherlands and it's not. It's 2025. Most people have no problem, but sometimes you do feel that some people are feel uncomfortable. We had one student who said, "No, I this is not my thing," because in his class there was a guy who wanted to dance as a follower, and he really disliked it so much that he canceled the classes.
Do you have any policy around this, or
no? Not really. Usually, if people want to dance, I do tell people. Let's say a couple comes in, and the guy, they say, we want to dance as a follower. I said, that's no problem for me, no problem. But sometimes, actually, extremely rare cases, that's the reaction. But that's again, that would be extremely rare. That there are multiple people that wouldn't express that they don't like it. But usually, sometimes I tell them, you know what, it's fine, but maybe you want to dance just with each other. It's fine. But again, it's generally it's okay. But there are some cases of people that have a hard time with it.
Are there any other
And that's
topics?
usually, by the way, of course, older people that have trouble with
Oh,
it.
really?
Yes,
Interesting.
it's usually not young people; it's older
Yeah.
people, my age.
I personally always find it a bit difficult if somebody doesn't want to dance with somebody because of their gender, because then I think, what's your intention in dancing? Are you only want to dance with somebody that you are sexually interested in?
No, I don't think that that's the kid because they don't mind dancing with a lady that's probably not their type, like an older lady, or they don't mind. It's just well, some things are generational. Some things like if we would do this 20 years ago or 20 or 25 years ago, guys can dance as a follower. That would probably cause a little bit more would be a little bit more problematic than now.
Do you have any big plans for the next Amsterdam International Salsa
We
event?
always have big plans.
Always big plans.
We always want to upgrade
Yeah.
the event. Always, if you come to the festival one year and then you come the next year, you'll see differences. You see, this year we had the LED screen, the big LED screen on stage. We had a better sound system this year than last year. Every year we try to improve it.
Do you have like a wish list or like a bucket list, like a top 3 things? Like, if I could get that, if I don't have to think about money and I can get whatever?
I would like to bring in like a tire artist like Mark Anthony or Saudi or Victor Manuel. That would definitely be one of my dreams. We already worked with amazing bands, but I would like to bring in like a famous singer. But of course, for our location, it's too small, and I do like the location a lot. I think it's part of the beauty of the event. It's an amazing location.
Yeah.
To move this to a bigger location without the same feeling, it's
And people also often have a bit mixed opinions on the live music.
Yeah.
I personally enjoy it a lot.
yes. I love live music.
But I know a lot of people, they say, I prefer to just dance social,
Yes.
and then the songs are too long, or it always goes beyond the scheduled time.
Yes, that's totally true. I personally like live music, but also we can't have. Plus, last year we had a lot of shows. I said we already have so many shows. If I also add live music, it's really gonna eat from the social dancing part. And this year I'm thinking if we put live music, I have to build a second stage, probably.
You
in
put
the other
the
room.
band on once.
I'm just thinking out loud.
I often feel with the live music at congresses, I enjoy the music, but I feel that the energy in the crowd is always a bit awkward, because half the people, they're just standing there looking at the orchestra. The other half is like, I'm going to try to dance. You have like a mix of people standing in the middle of the dance floor, people trying to dance around it, some people like jamming. And I often see people, especially that if you just go to a concert, it's clear. If you just go to a social, it's clear. But it seems like we're missing some sort of etiquette for how we deal with live music at events.
Yes. I personally, I would like to have every night live band. But I also personally know that a lot of people don't like that. It's a little bit, should we? But again, I like it, but I'm still not, I still didn't decide if we're going to have live music in 2026.
If you go, for example, to I've been to Cali, to the Feria de Cali, and then you have amazing concerts. You can go to, you can see all these.
I've never been there,
artists,
but I've seen the videos.
You see Victor Manuel, Gilberto Santa Rosa, you see Guayacan, Gran Combo, and it's always interesting when you go through a dance studio and you learn to dance from a teacher in the studio, and you're used to socials, and then you go to South America, where a lot of people grow up with salsa in their culture, and they think, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to dance with everybody. But the way they experience sort of the music and the concert is so different from how we really have like this studio mindset. And this is also something that I sometimes hear people from, especially Latin cultures, complain about, that, the way that you guys experience the dance is not like authentic or original.
Well, first of all, it's true, but on the other hand, also lots of Latinos don't dance at all. But I also think it is changing now. Like back then, I think 10 years ago, let's say if you look at Peru, I never saw anything from Peru. Or of course, you had Adolfo, who is Peruvian, but besides this, I didn't see anything big happening in Peru. I've been to a festival in Peru in 2012, and it was nice, but the level was not that amazing. And if I look now, what's going on in Peru, dancing wise, I'm like, wow,
Mm.
wow, the level
Yeah.
has exploded. But the same, I'm
Peru.
from Uruguay. In Uruguay has never been really a salsa country. We listen more to cumbia, but now the salsa is really getting strong. Bachata as well, of course. And the same, if I look at, well, in Colombia, it used to be all Cali style. Now you see videos of things happening in Colombia with a lot of the people dance everything. They dance Cali, but they also dance on two, on one, and they do it amazing.
Mhm.
So I think it is changing. Of course, the world is becoming smaller now. You have YouTube, you have Instagram, so people see what's going on in the rest of the world.
Mhm.
Back in the days, you had to have the VHS, and now you just turn on your phone and you see the people dancing all over the world. So, and of course, a lot of Latinos that went to New York, went to Europe, and then go back, and they bring the new styles home. Yes, there is the traditional way that people are dancing in Latin America, but I think now more and more also the studio
Mhm.
dancing will become much more popular there.
Yeah. And of course, they love to do competitions as well.
Oh, they love competitions. Yes.
Are there going to be more competitions at the Amsterdam event as well?
We were planning to do a professional competition this year,
Oh.
well, 2026, but I didn't really work it out yet, how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's something in the making.
Okay. Yeah. As an organizer of the Amsterdam Salsa Festival, you also feel responsibility to shine a spotlight on local artists.
Of course, over the years we always have workshops from the local artists and shows. But be honest, it's we need like this year we had like 5 local shows, I think. But they have to be good shows. I can't put people on stage just because they are local. Of course, we want to show what Amsterdam has to offer, Amsterdam and the Netherlands in general. But we can't also put everybody. Our gazillion artists in the Netherlands, so we have to make a selection.
Yeah.
And some people I work with every year, and some people I work, okay, this year we work with them, and maybe 2 years later again. But it's not. I can't invite everybody every year.
I imagine as an organizer for a big event like the Amsterdam Festival, you get into interesting situations because a lot of artists, they want to show their work.
Mhm.
And for them, it's more important to get that exposure
Yes.
than to risk getting rejected because they ask too high a price.
Hmm.
I imagine from all around the world, people come to offer and say, hey, I really want to be at your event.
Yes.
How do you trade off like the economics of that? Do you say, oh, this guy is offering to come for free for exposure? Sure. Like just, I take the free artists.
Well, if I have, let me be honest, I over the years I've had many free shows, as you say, that were amazing, and now I book them every year and I pay them.
Uh-huh.
But there's a difference. Not only if I really see it's not just it's free. I also see that these people are investing in it. And if I see a local artist that has okay show, not great, but okay, and I see an international artist has a better show, sometimes much better show, and they tell me, you know what, I will pay my own, I will pay my hotel, I will pay my accommodation, I will pay my flight. I just want to be on the stage. Then yeah, sure, I will. If they want to make that investment, then it's more likely I will book them.
Yeah.
Rather than the Dutch artist that tells me, okay, you know what, I will come and I will charge you this and this amount.
Yeah.
And again, the show is not as good as this international artist.
Yeah, from an organizer's perspective,
Yeah.
it seems clear. I think there's a lot of discussion among artists. Hey, we need to stop offering our work for free because you're out competing each other to the bottom.
Yes, but it's
Supply and demand.
supply and demand.
I mean, yeah, as an organizer, why would
If there are more artists, then there are spots for artists worldwide. Let's say if you combine all the festivals, all the bigger festivals together, how many spots do they have for all these shows? How many artists do we have? That's a simple calculation.
Anything you want to tell us about upcoming editions? Sell your event?
No, it's all still in the making. We are at the moment we're still planning some again upgrades of the event, but we didn't decide everything yet.
Are we gonna make a behind the shines discount code for
We can do that.
people to book
We
tickets?
can do that. Yes.
For
Fernando,
our viewers.
we can do that. No problem. What would you like the code to be?
Behind BTS, behind the shines.
BTS. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
BTS.
BTS to Amsterdam.
Yes, I'm gonna make it.
We'll make
It's
a
gonna
code.
give a 10% discount to the full party.
Amazing. So for all the
10%.
viewers that made it till the end of the episode,
Yes.
special discount for you.
Yes.
That's everything I wanted to talk to you about today.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Fernando.
Yeah, great. That was the latest episode of Behind the Shines. You can find the podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, and I'm going to share a few reels on Instagram as well. With me today was Ivan Poschi from Extremos Dance, Amsterdam, and the organizer of the Amsterdam International Salsa Festival. Will be in February.
February 19 till 22.
2026.
2026. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.